This is so exciting.
It is exciting. Hi, everyone. It's Nicola Humber here, and I am here speaking with the delicious Robin Rice, who was part of my recent Live Your Gift process, a 5-week process to help women step more deeply into their gift zones and to be able to share that with the world. And Robin is up to some amazing stuff in the world. So I was really delighted that she was part of it, and to witness what came out of it for her was really exciting. So I wanted to get Robin on so she could talk to us, because she's such an amazing example of an unbound woman who has this kind of multifaceted nature and this limitless range of gifts. And it's very inspiring the way that she is beginning to share them with the world. So thank you for hopping on to chat with me today, Robin.
Thank you, and thank you for that lovely introduction. It was so sweet. So sweet.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you're wondering why there are hula hoops in the background behind Robin, then I'm sure that will become clear during our conversation. But we'll just leave that little bit of mystery there for the minute. There is a reason. There is a reason. So, Robin, tell me what living in your gift means to you.
Well, living in my gift has been a process, actually, and one that I am just learning how to grasp. And thanks to your guidance, it's become very clear to me that my gift is healing and healing for other people. So it's been really embracing that part of me that I've kind of seen as a taboo aspect, and really not wanting to give myself that authority to say, I have this capability, this innate gift to help others heal and to help them see their amazing, astounding beauty within them.
Yeah.
So embracing that has been such a bit of a roller coaster of a process. I'm not going to lie. I'm not 100% confident about it all of the time, which I think no one is.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really wonderful to actually claim that now and to see what that's brought into my life in this very short period, absolutely, since we did the Live Your Gift process too.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And I'm sure a lot of the women watching will identify with that. Many of us, we sense that we have these kind of innate gifts, but to actually claim them and say, look, this is what I do, this is how I can help, that can be really challenging. And I wonder if you could just speak a little bit more about kind of the resistance in the past that's come up around that, Robin.
Oh my gosh. So the resistance has been my entire life, I'm going to say, because I, as a child, I was put in a position of being a caretaker without recognizing it. So I think that the resentment that I've had towards being in that position, and every time I touch someone's life, it does result in this healing process for them. And sometimes it's like, well, why can't I do that for myself? Why can't I do that for me? Why am I in this position where all of my gifts are towards other people? And so that's part of the roller coaster process. Sorry, that was my dog.
I love it. A random sound coming from the back.
Yeah. He has a very dramatic yawn.
Yeah.
And so having the hindsight of knowing that since a child I've been putting this in this position has been very different to claiming it. And I think that's where the power is coming from, rather than seeing it as something that I resent, excuse me, or hasn't been voluntary. Now I'm claiming it, and it's just wonderful, because the receiving is more is energetic. When I receive the energy from other people that I have helped them, that's the reward. That's the beauty of it, and that's when I feel most fulfilled and can recognize the gratitude and the beauty of the world. I might have strayed a little bit from your question. Sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all. You absolutely didn't. And I think, it's a really important distinction because these things, the healing and the way that many of the women in my community, they have this kind of power to activate others and create transformation almost just from being in their presence. It's not, it's not kind of like, oh, okay, I do this and it's a step-by-step process. It's like, I'm just with somebody and that it creates this reaction within them.
Yeah. And then
go on.
Later you hear that they've succeeded in something that they've wanted for a very long time, and now claiming it, it's like, yes, I feel energetically like I was a part of that, and that's so rewarding.
Yeah, and to recognize that, and to celebrate that, it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, I was a part of that. And of course, it's always a two-way. It's that exchange, that the alchemy that happens between you and the other person. But that's really powerful, and I love what you say about although in the past there was almost some resentment around this, you've completely shifted that, and this is something that you're choosing to embrace now and step into. It's wonderful, wonderful. So tell us about the ways that you are sharing this with the world, Robin, because we can see the hula hoops behind you. I know that's not like the only way that you do it, but it's one aspect of it which I love. Well,
one way that I've done all my life is paying attention to the world around me and the various environments that I'm in, because I've been a full-time traveler for almost 10 going on 11 years now. And in that time, you learn so much about yourself, but you learn so much about the world. And there isn't just one way to live. There isn't just one way to appreciate the world. And so a way that I help others is I relay the information that I've received energetically, as well as doing a lot of reading. I read all of the time. And having people have that little realization, that click for themselves. And more often than not, it'll start a wonderful conversation, and then they'll come back to me about a week or so later like, wow, what we were talking about was really a breakthrough for me. And then a very, very powerful way that I feel like I've helped various people in my life is through hula hooping. Yeah. So just a little backstory. I was diagnosed at a very young age, at 19, with a disease called alopecia areata. And at that time, I lost 50% of my hair. It wasn't just thinning or whatnot. It was very distinct patches throughout my head. And it wasn't something that I could just, cover up. I had to wear a wig, and there became so much shame around that. So much shame around that, just because, until you lose your hair, you won't recognize how many beauty ads there are in the world for hair, and how much long, luscious hair is valued in Western.
Robin, for a minute. Well, I've lost hair. I don't know if you can still see and hear her. Hopefully she'll get back on, because this is really fascinating what she's talking about here.
I'm still here.
I know that Robin, she's in the Pyrenees at the moment. She's traveling, so it's possible that her Wi-Fi connection has dropped out. Let's give it a couple of minutes and hopefully she'll be back with us. And you know, what Robin's talking about here is, you know, and this is a key element of living your gift, you know, particularly for the unbound woman, because we have, like I said, the unbound woman is multifaceted. She has lots of different elements of her gifts and what she can bring to the world. And sometimes it can feel challenging to weave all of that together and to, you know, and to be able to share that in what feels like a coherent way. And we've kind of been taught that we should be able to kind of describe and explain what we have to offer in a very simple way that people will get immediately. And sometimes that's not the case for the unbound woman. And because we do things in a very magical way. And, you know, Robin, if she manages to get back on, we will hear more about how she kind of uses the hula hooping in her work with clients. And I'm hoping that she's going to get back on. We'll wait, like I said, a couple of minutes. I think she might be coming back on. Let's see. Yay, she's back.
Hello. That was very strange because for me, everything was working perfectly. So I refreshed the page and hello.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't see you. I'm not sure what it was like for the people watching. So let's pick up. You were talking about your experience with the alopecia and how you had to wear a wig, and, you know, you were talking about that. So if we pick up from there.
Okay. So in general, it brought me to a very deep and dark and shameful place in my life, because society says that if you don't have long, luscious hair, then you don't exist. You aren't worthy. All of these things that I started to tell myself over and over and over until it brought me to a very dark and deep place. And it was about a year and a half after being diagnosed that one day it was divine synchronization, I swear, because it was a day that I was absolutely fed up, just fed up without getting into specifics. I was just fed up. And instead of dwelling on it, I decided to have a painting date with a new friend that I had made. And she's still one of my closest friends. She's my soul sister. And when I went over there, she had a hula hoop. And I couldn't hula hoop my entire life. I swear to you, my entire life, it would fall. But for some reason that day, I tried again and again and again. I had nothing else to do. I was in a bad place, so my mind it stopped giving me all of these terrible messages and was physically like, okay, you're going to keep this hula hoop up. And and after about a week, I was divinely, synchronistically gifted a hula hoop.
Wow.
And it just started from there. And every second that I put into this dance was another layer of armor that I built up against all of this negativity that I was saying and the thoughts that were running through my head, because especially as women, it is so easy for us to get into this place where we don't think that we are worthy, that we don't think that we deserve to be beautiful or have this innate beauty and this radiance that is just born in us. And so I started hula hooping and I couldn't put it down. I mean, the hula hoop went with me everywhere. It still does to this day.
We can see.
I have my rack of hula hoops. Yeah. And when you start to develop a daily practice, especially when it's a movement practice, such as yoga, or for me, it's hula hooping, then the feelings and the thoughts become alchemized. And what I mean by that is because you are moving and you are physically churning up the energy in your body. We hold so many emotions and so many memories in our body.
Absolutely.
That we are able to bring them to the surface in a way. And once you bring them to the surface, you are able to confront them. And once you confront them, you're able to see these aren't so big. These aren't so important. They're not so scary. Yeah. And then eventually, as you keep dancing and you keep finding your, what we in the community call flow, then you start to express yourself in this incredibly unique and gorgeous way. And that becomes so much more important than the scary thoughts that you have put into your head. And there's just no words to describe how much having a flow practice and hula hooping helped me, and how much I want to help others through a movement practice, through hula hooping.
Yeah, incredible. Really, I mean, this aligns so closely with, you know, the work that I'm doing. You know, I think too often in the past we've been encouraged to try and figure everything out from up here, and when we go up into our heads and try and figure everything out from there, and clear trauma from a head place, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't create the shifts that we get when we come into our body. You know, our bodies always know. And I'm just, you know, as I was talking, I was kind of just starting to circle. I just noticed that. But I'm just thinking about
it's such a beautiful, like, soothing motion.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. I couldn't help doing it when you were speaking. You know, you kind of activated something in me, Robin. But I'm just thinking about the parts of our body that we move when we're hula hooping. You know, it's our, you know, our creative center, our kind of sexual center. You know, it's really
our face as well.
Exactly. It's just
I've helped women who have womb trauma with the hula hoop. And it's been revolutionary for them, and revolutionary.
Yeah, I love that. But this is why I wanted to get you on to speak here about living your gift, because this is the kind of thing that kind of in the more like linear world, like, you know, the patriarchal system that we're in, you could, you know, people might look at hula hooping and go, oh, well, that's silly, it's for children, you know, how could you make a business out of something like that? You know, how could you get paid for teaching people how to hula hoop? And, you know, a big part of my work is kind of really overturning those old ideas about, you know, how we make money, how we do both business, how we serve, you know, in the world. And I love that you're using something like, you know, hula hoops to do this. It's just so, it's so deeply feminine and playful, and it's just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. So tell us a bit. Go on. No, please. Go on.
I love what about it being playful as well, because especially as grown-ups, we get into our heads about having to succeed at this thing. If it's a dance, we have to get the dance right. But with the hula hoop, it is so playful, like you said, that I think it does connect to this inner child in us as well, that says, oh, I'm a child again. I'm just playing. This is just, all of those wonderful innate feelings, and these children are just so inspiring, by the way.
Absolutely.
But as you said, it's playful, so there isn't any pressure to get it right. It's just you're in your movement, you're in your flow, and you're feeling good, and it gets you out of your head about being an adult and doing all of the adult thinking and succeeding.
Yeah, exactly. It creates a sense of freedom, you know, and that a sense of expansion that we get when we, you know, go into this playful state. It's so, like I said, it's so magical. It's so magical what you do. And tell us a bit more, you know, for people listening, Robin, about you know, how you offer this to people and their opportunities for them to find out more about it.
So I'm on Instagram as well as Facebook. I've just done kind of like a transition where I've changed my name from Ladybird Hoops to Ladybird Adventures, because on top of hula hooping, I am a full-time traveler. I do travel tips. I love to help people with their travels. That's another way that people heal. Anyway, so you can find me there, and I am available for Skype lessons. I have tutorials on YouTube as well as my Facebook page. And I am offering a 4-week program called The Circle of Your Soul, where we will delve more into this healing aspect of hula hooping. It will be available from August. And if all goes well, I'll be doing it quarterly. And yeah, it'll be a 4-week program where we really use the hula hoop as a vessel to alchemize all of the outdated programs that we've put into our head.
I just love listening to you speak about it. Honestly, it lights me up when I hear you speaking about it. I just think this is such a perfect example of, you know, doing things in an unbound way, and, you know, you're really carving a unique path, and I honor you for that. It's just incredible. And I encourage everyone watching to go and follow Robin on Instagram. I know you've got a YouTube channel as well, haven't you, where you do the where you share your travel tips. Your videos are amazing. So thank you so much, Robin, for joining me today and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you. I also just wanted to say that the way that Circle of Your Soul was born was thanks to your program. Your gift. So really, thank you so much for encouraging me to follow my muse above everything else. And that's really where this all came from as well, was the collaboration with the program Live Your Gift.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you know, this is an example, isn't it, of the alchemy that happens when we come together with other women. And I think, you know, obviously I was running Live Your Gift, but there were other women within the group as well. And everyone just sparks things off in other people. And obviously during it, we were working with our unbound selves as well. And I was delighted when I saw what emerged from the process for you, because like I said, it's so playful and so magical. So, and I think, you know, sharing what you have done today, hopefully will give permission to some of the other women watching to think, okay, you know, what I've got to offer, you know, what feels like my gift, I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to try and modify or adapt it or make it fit into a box. I'm going to put it out there and share it. So. Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you, Robin, and, you know, enjoy the rest of your day in the Pyrenees. We're all very jealous that you're there at the moment, and look forward to hearing more about you. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you so much. And if are you going to be? I didn't ask you this.